In this video, I'm going to be doing a basic rundown, okay, not too basic, but a basic rundown infantry guide for Battlefield 4 in 2025 because I've recently seen a lot of new people getting into this game, and they're always asking shit in chat, and it's just like, man, just look up a guide at this point. There's like hundreds out there, but people are probably looking for like best guide 2024 or 2025. It's like, okay, like I may as well put my information out there. Now, am I the most qualified player?
No,
Am I the most skilled player?
no.
But I have been playing this since I was like a wee little lad. Just a wee little lad. So I believe I at least know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is just the infantry guide. I might do a vehicle guide. I'm not good with vehicles though. So I'll see. But yeah, let's just go right into it. Alright, so I'm just going to start with the classes first. Now, they're a very important part of this game, and people need to learn how to play them better. I swear to God, it's not that hard. It is not that hard. You have an equipment, use it. So here's the Assault, or the Medic, or, well, it should be played as the Medic, but you go on Locker and everyone fucking forgets how to play the Medic. Um, Now, each class has access to carbines, shotguns, and DMRs. These will all be the same for every single class, no matter what. Assault rifles are this class's unique weapon. Assault rifle. Duh. Um, so these are just pretty good high damage. Well, not high damage, but high rate of fire typically, or in the case of certain weapons, higher damage, like the Scar H or the Bulldog, which are slower firing. Um, Incredibly good, like best guns in the game, realistically, in terms of infantry combat, minus the shotguns. But if you use one of these, just click off this video. I hate you. You suck. That was a joke. I'm sorry. Um, Handguns, same handguns for every single class. In terms of assault rifles, ones I would recommend: Scar H, M416, AK. People will call you a sweat. It's just use it. It doesn't matter, dude. No one cares. FAMAS Augur's good. Ace 23 God Gun, F2000 God Gun, Bulldog. With enough, if you're really good at aiming, then yeah, that thing shreds. And L8's not too bad either. Handguns is for every class. For what's good. G18. I mean, realistically, that's all you're gonna really want to use on any class. But the Rex is pretty good, but I'm pretty sure you have to play the campaign to get that. So, but I think you get it very early on, like one of the first missions. Magnum's not bad. 1911 and 93 are also pretty good. Shorty, if you're a loser, lol. Now, okay, here we get into the class-specific gadgets. This is where you'll be wanting to play the class in a team supporting role, realistically. Um, but a lot of classes will offer very selfish options as well. And here on Assault, we have some of my least favorites, which are the grenade launchers and the M26s, which are just basically extra shotguns. It's literally just a shotgun sidearm. So you can get losers running around with a shotgun primary, shotgun secondary, and a shotgun gadget. Don't be that guy. Look, grenade launchers are incredibly good for kills. They're just free kills, especially on infantry maps such as Metro or Locker. You just shoot them down a hallway. It's just free kills. But um, it doesn't offer much team play, and it's incredibly selfish. Same with these, except these are a little harder to use, I suppose, in terms of those situations, but they are just a free kill, realistically. Now we get into what you should be playing as a medic, which is first aid and defibs. Now, first aid, you can run a medic bag, but that's only really useful for if you're in a large group of people. If you're playing on a map where you're a bit more spread out, or there's a lower player count on like an infantry map, you'll want to run first aid packs because you can just throw it straight to the person who needs it the most, and it's also faster for healing yourself if you have to in order to stay alive. Whereas the medic bag, it's a lot slower. You have to stand where it is. This, you throw it and it gets picked up by whoever touches it first, and they gradually heal over time. I think it's about 10 health every second, maybe, until they take more damage, in which case that'll cancel out the healing. But if you're hiding in cover, that shouldn't be an issue. Whereas the medic bag, yeah, you throw it on the ground, and as many people who want to be healed off it can be, but they all have to sit next to it, and that reduces movement. Defib, charge it up. You will hold down fib. With the defib, what you want to do is that will give you a 20 health revive. The person you just revive will come back with 20 health. Whereas if you go until it beeps and then you do it, they'll come back with all 100 health, which is very, very useful. So yeah, definitely run. That's the combo, in my opinion. Heal yourself, heal teammates faster, and I don't have to say still. Defib, please revive people, man. It's, even if you can only get a 20 off, as long as they're in cover, just go for it. I'm pretty sure it can prevent your team from losing a ticket from a death, I feel like. I might be thinking of a different Battlefield game that does that, though. I've played too many of these games. Yeah. So yeah, run those. Very useful. Frags, same for every single class. I run Incendiary. It's really not the best option. You're probably better off using Frag, Impact, or even Minis. And on tight infantry maps, Smoke is very useful as well if you're able to play around Smoke effectively. But I like to use Incendiary because I've always enjoyed having something that I can use to block off a path. Incendiary is not bad. You can run Incendiary, and in fact, in a lot of situations, it is a lot better than a Frag or an Impact or something. But you just need to know when to use it and how to use it, I suppose. You're not going to get a lot of kills with Incendiaries. You're more likely to just damage somebody enough that you can push up on them or block off a path while you reposition or whatever, which is what I like to use it for more. And it does leave a cloud of smoke after it's done burning, so it's kind of a bit of a 2-in-1, but the smoke doesn't last long. It's not very thick. Knives, I'm not going to talk about knives or grenades or handguns, every single class, because they're all the same. Knives literally don't change anything. It's just a pure cosmetic thing. So just use any knife you want. Yeah. Field upgrades. Now these, I believe, the top two or let me have a look. Okay, the top 3 are class exclusive. They're not class exclusive, sorry. They're spread across all classes. So what these do is, in the bottom left corner, I'll put a clip up on the screen while I'm talking about this. In the bottom left corner, you'll see just above the squad names there, you'll see a bar that slowly fills up with whatever field upgrade you chose. And this bar fills up when you interact with squad members in any way. So if you squad spawns, squad assists, squad revives, squad healing, following squad leader orders, which I will get into later, hopefully if I remember it. Yeah, it'll fill up that bar, and each little symbol there gives you a different buff depending on which one you chose. So, defensive armor reduces incoming damage to the chest by 10%, decreases amount of incoming suppression by 50%, decreases damage from explosions by 15%, decreases time before out of combat heal by 20%. Pretty good for selfish infantry play if you're just looking for being a strong infantry. Offensive, which is what I often do run. Sprint increases maximum sprint speed by 10%. Ammo increases maximum inventory of bullets by 50%. Grenades increases maximum inventory of hand grenades by 1. And level 4 is reduced fall, which increases how high you can fall without taking damage. Shadow, quick unspot, reduces time you're spotted by 2 seconds. Sprint again, and reduce fall. And then the last one is stealth, which is undetected by motion sensors except when sprinting. So you won't appear on the minimap if there is a tugs or a motion sensor ball, as long as you're not sprinting, which is kind of useless because 9 times out of 10 you probably will be sprinting. So yeah. Now we get on to the class exclusive one for Assault. Combat Medic, which I do often use. Medkit upgrade increases the maximum deployed medic bags and packs by 1, which is very good for if you need to heal a large group of people. Sprint again, which is a 10% increase. Defib upgrade increases the charge up speed of defibs by 100%. And then medic unit. Occupied vehicles will slowly heal nearby soldiers, which is good for vehicle maps, not infantry maps at all. Then Grenadier, which is what is run by all the lunatics who choose grenade launchers over defibs. Increase maximum inventory of hand grenades by 1. Sprint again, so 10% sprint speed increase. 40mm grenades increases maximum inventory of 40mm grenades by 3, which is absurd. Flak decreases damage from explosions by 15%, and that's because everyone using grenade launchers are lunatics who accidentally shoot it at a wall or the floor next to them and kill themselves. So, yippee! And then every class you just have your camouflage, which is just up to you to choose. Yeah. On to engineer. This is your anti-vehicle class right here. So, starting off with weapons, they get the PDWs, which is basically just SMGs, really. A lot of them have very high ammo, lower damage, very high fire rates, usually very easy to control as well, but very poor range. Good picks, MX4, PP2000, P90, JS2, Asval, MP7, and the Groza 4. Handguns. Alright, moving on to the gadgets. As you can see, a shitload of RPGs. Each of these works in its own unique way. I believe the MBT law, when fired at a vehicle, if it goes within its range, it'll lock onto the vehicle, shoot up, and then land down on the roof, which makes it hard to land critical hits on them because you can't aim for specific areas that will immobilize them or deal critical damage. But it is far easier to land shots. RPG 7, just like your all-round rocket launcher, really. Accurate, shoots relatively fast, but pretty slow reload, and not a lot of rounds, but it does a bit more damage than the MBT law. The SMOR is very similar. The SMOR is what I usually run. It's not the best. It does more damage to critical points, which is why I prefer to use it. If you're a good shot with it, you can do a lot more damage than with a lot of other rocket launchers, but you do have to be a very, very good shot. The Javelin requires a lock-on, and you have to maintain a lock-on, so it's very hard to use unless somebody is running, I believe it is, sorry for the PLD, which laser designates vehicle targets, which lets any rocket launcher lock onto it through walls, everything, and makes it far easier to use the Javelin. So unless someone's running that, the Javelin is pretty much useless, but it does a lot of damage. The Shrour is it's a tow missile, basically. So you shoot it, and wherever you look, the rocket will attempt to follow that. I think it does okay-ish damage, but I think it's pretty fast reload, and you get quite a few of them, so I do think that it's buff. Stinger is a fire and forget, as it says there, anti-air missile. You have to lock onto a target in the air. It doesn't work on ground vehicles at all. Pray to God they don't use flares, and then you can fire the rocket and it will follow the target. And then the Igla, which is a more high damage version of the Stinger. However, it has to maintain the lock on. So you have to track the air target, which can be very hard with shit like jets, for example. So that's quite difficult to use. but does a bit more damage. Realistically, you shouldn't have to use any sort of anti-air. You should be able to run uh, anti-ground vehicles because your AA should be doing a fairly good job, and you should also be hopefully having good jets and helis maintaining air superiority. So typically, you don't want to use these. You'd be better off using any of these options depending on your preference. Repair tool, definitely run repair tool. Run up next to vehicles with it. Hold down the fucking left click there, and it will repair the vehicle. You can also damage enemy vehicles with it by repairing them. It'll gradually tick away damage. The only issue with that is once they blow up, you're standing right next to the vehicle that is about to erupt into a massive nuclear ball of shit. So yeah, have fun with that. But yeah, repair torch must have. The mines are kind of useless. They can be good. The slam can actually be pretty good. It sticks to stuff and it's a bit easy to position it and whatever. But you are just better off using rocket launchers because the chances of a vehicle hitting these is very low. Even if you place them well, they're very easy to be seen. So if you want to experiment with mines, you can, but ultimately you are just better off running any of these. EOD bot is just basically a little Wally style robot that drives around with a repair torch on it. Honestly, this is more fun on infantry maps if you're bored and you want to just sit at the back and just drive an EOD bot in there and try and repair torch people to death. But otherwise, it's sort of useless. You're better off just running up to a vehicle to repair it. There's not really a situation where you're going to go, okay, I'm going to lay down in cover and then drive the bot over there and hope the vehicle doesn't leave. It's just not very useful. AA mine just deploys a little javelin thing on the ground there and it will lock onto air vehicles, and I'm pretty sure it can only shoot once and then it gets destroyed. Not great because it can't, fake out vehicle flares. It will just lock on and fire even if flares are deployed. So it's sort of pointless in that sense. Whereas if you're using a stinger, you can lock onto them and trick them into deploying flares, and then you can shoot them once the flares are gone. But if you want to annoy air vehicles, this can be a very good tool for that. Like if you've got a really irritating heli flying around doing super well and you want to just bug them with a little thing that keeps locking onto them, that's kind of good for that, I guess. And the decoy, which I'm pretty sure most classes actually have, and I didn't cover earlier on assault actually. Very useless. It basically just puts a fake enemy symbol on the other team's minimap, which is incredibly easy to, ignore because it's just a non-moving enemy target symbol. So yeah, not great. Doesn't usually have any sort of use, really. Onto the field upgrades. So yeah, we've already covered all the first three. These are class specific. Anti-tank increases maximum inventory of 80 mines or M2 slams to 6. So that's only really good if you're willing to use those. Rockets increases maximum inventory of AT and AA ammo to 7, which is huge. More deployed explosives increase maximum deployed explosives to 6, which I think is probably referring to mines again. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure on that one. That was a bit confusing. Decreases damage from explosions by 50%. So yeah, flak it. Fast repair increases speed. Oh, this is a mechanic, sorry. Increases speed and sabotage of repairs by 35%. Flak again. Decreases amount of incoming suppression by 50%. Occupied vehicles will slowly repair nearby vehicles, which is very useful on vehicle maps. So yeah, that's engineer for you. Much better on vehicle maps rather than infantry maps. Although a good rocket to the chest does in fact hurt quite a lot, especially on lockup when it's just shot down a long hallway. And onto support. This is a very useful class on all sorts of maps because it can aid everyone on the team, no matter what class they're running, incredibly well. Their class exclusive weapons are LMGs. U100 Mark V is very good. Type 88 very good. A lot of people tell you the PKP is pretty good. I'm not a fan personally, but I have seen it used very well. MG4, my love. I love that. And AWS, I love as well. L8 can be good. RPK also shreds. I'm pretty sure just the RPK is better. I don't think the RPK 12 is quite as good. But I could be wrong. I haven't used either in a while. But yeah, either of those are probably pretty good. I also see the M60 get a lot of use, but I've never personally liked it. But it's all up to personal preference. Um, so, this is the ammo resupply class. You want to be running ammo box or ammo pack at all times. This is where I do prefer to use ammo box, purely because when it comes to ammo, it's far better to get a large amount quickly. And if you just run over the ammo box briefly, you get I think it's about one mag worth of ammo, which is usually all you will really want to quickly stock up on. But it's just an option for your team to run over it to it quickly, grab as much as they need, and then leave. Um, this class comes with air bursts, which are essentially just grenade launchers, but they're a bit more geared to anti-infantry, I believe. Uh, but yeah, they blow up mid-air, which just does splash damage, which is good for getting enemies that are behind cover or grouped up, or even just to quickly pop it down a hallway and just shred through everyone. Really annoying on infantry maps, not very good on vehicle maps. Claymores, oh my god. Oh my god. So gross. You just chuck them in a doorway, it shoots out these three little wires, and if someone walks through them, they will basically die. Just like guaranteed death. Except not really, because they're kind of glitched. Sometimes it'll just do like 25 damage for some reason, and other times I've walked through them and it's done no damage. So it's very inconsistent, a little glitchy, but most of the time you will just suddenly erupt into a ball of flames and you will quit the game. You'll just leave because they fucking suck. Mortars, don't use mortars. You're a mortard. No, I'm kidding. Really, really annoying on infantry maps. Kind of mid on vehicle maps, but they can be very good in certain situations. Sit at the back of the map, shoot a rocket up into the air, it lands down on wherever you select. Pretty good against infantry, kind of mid against vehicles, but I mean, it gets kills. It can easily suppress infantry from pushing up. MP APS destroys rockets and tank shells. Doesn't take out grenades like you'd expect it would in other games, but yeah. So RPGs and tank shells are its main target. Not particularly useful. It's very situational. You're better off running like an ammo box and or C4, which is up next, which is just C4. You throw it onto a surface, a vehicle. You press the button and kaboom. Jeep stuff, man. UCAV is a small reconnaissance, a small reconnaissance, a small reconnaissance vehicle, which has an explosive warhead. I actually have never used this because I don't have it unlocked for some reason, but I didn't realize it had an explosive warhead. That's insane. Uh, it's basically just a guided missile, really. Very good on infantry maps. People will just launch this down a hallway and kill a lot of people. Ballistic shield don't, and the decoy. Um, Field upgrades, indirect fire increases maximum deployed ammo boxes and packs by one, very useful. Increases maximum inventory of bullets by 50%. Indirect fire increases maximum M224 and MX25 ammo. Don't run those, please, you nerd. Resupply unit. Occupied vehicles will slowly swallow. Did I say swallow? Will slowly resupply nearby soldiers. Under perimeter defense, increases maximum inventory of bullets by 50%. Suppression increases the amount of outgoing suppression by 50%. Suppression essentially just makes it harder, makes your teams. Oh my god. Suppression essentially is when you get a near miss on an enemy, they will be less accurate. They get more bullet spread, I believe is how it still works. Claymores increases the maximum inventory of claymores to 3. MP APS upgrade increases the time the MP APS can deflect incoming explosives. It's still pretty useless though. So yeah, that's support. Definitely good on all maps, especially infantry. Throw down ammo for all the good players who are running out of ammo, or for all the annoying people running grenade launchers or whatever who have already dumped their entire load, pause, down a hallway. But yeah, good class, fun guns too. MGs are very fun, and yeah. Alright, and on to the last class, Recon. Recon is your sniper class. Unique weapons are the snipers. The SV98 Scout Elite JNG90 338 Recon SRR61 FYJS Gold Magnum and the CS5 are my personal favorite picks from this class. They have a lot of similar gadgets to other classes in some areas, but their main purpose is the gathering of information. So the PLD laser designated binoculars, which is what you use to lock onto vehicles, that allows engineers RPGs of all kinds to lock onto it and fire and forget, and also shoot through, like, lock on through walls. Very useful if you're coordinating with an engineer. If not, a lot of engineers won't recognize what it is and they won't utilize the lock on that you have. C4, the motion sensor. It's a little ball you throw, it makes a little pinging sound. It just detects things in the area that are moving, shows them on the mini map. Actually pretty useful, especially on infantry maps, but you have to listen to the pinging sound constantly, which is really irritating. But other than that, that is actually a pretty useful gadget on infantry maps. The beacon, must use. You have to use the beacon, basically. It's the best gadget this class has. Get behind enemy lines, or find a nice little spot for you to snipe. Set up a beacon there. When you die, you can respawn on it unless it's destroyed. Only downside is if the enemy just finds it and decides to be a prick, they can camp it and they will get free knife kills off you. But it's a worthy risk because it is incredibly good. Really, really good if you want to bum rush good flags that have vehicle spawns on them, which are usually closer to the enemy spawn. So if you can sneak around the map and get all the way to one of their gimme flags that will spawn an LAV or something, you can put a beacon on it, and once the flag's clear, quickly cap it, take the LAV, go for a joyride. On infantry maps, incredibly, especially like Locker and Metro, it's incredibly good for sneaking behind enemy lines, putting down a beacon, and then your whole squad, you can back cap everything and distract the enemy and throw them all over the place. It's very useful. Must run. Tugs, really, really good. It's just a stationary scanner that will scan for enemies. Any enemy in its range will appear on the minimap. Really, really, really useful. But you have to be very good at placing it, otherwise it's kind of useless depending on where you put it. But yeah. SoFlam, very, very similar to the PLD. I'm not really going to go over it. Mav, sort of just your generic drone. It can destroy enemy gadgets, but I don't know. It's more of just an annoyance and a good spotting tool than anything. But I mean, it can be fun. It can really bug enemy teams, so it's not useless. It's just you might be better off running a tugs or a beacon. Claymore, don't. SUAV is similar to the UCAV of the engineer, the support, sorry, except it doesn't have that warhead. It can also do what the PLD does and laser designate targets. However, it's a bit harder to maintain that lock-on since you're in a moving vehicle. What this is mostly used for is launching it down hallways and just plunging it into the skull of enemy players. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of fun, I suppose, but sort of useless. And the decoy, which is just utterly useless. Um, Alright, and field upgrades. Spec Ops. Level 1 stealth, undetected by motion sensors except when sprinting. Which I think you can get on Shadow as well. Yes, you can. C4 explosives increases maximum inventory of C4 to 6. Pretty good. Motion sensors increases maximum inventory of motion sensors to 5. Increases range of tugs and MAV by 40%. Pretty damn good. Quick unspot, which reduces how long you're spotted for. Sniper. Hold breath increases time you can steady your scope by 100%. Yeah, if you're aiming down sights and you hold the sprint, whatever your sprint key is bound to, which is usually going to be shift, or if you're on console, I believe you press down on the left thumbstick, you will hold your breath briefly, which makes your scope sway much less. Cover decreases the amount of incoming suppression by 50%. Quick unspot. Advanced spot increases time your targets are spotted by 45%. Very useful. Alright, so I've just come onto Locker here. I'm just going to give you a basic rundown of good movements. Now, obviously, you don't need to be some crazy movement god or some turbo sweat or anything. This is just some basic movement tips for if you want to improve your movement. Oh my days, that was really loud. So yeah, first things first, jumping around corners. Now, you can get a good little slide if you let go of all of your movement keys before you land. Thanks, mate. So yeah, jump, sprint, jump, let go of movement keys, and you'll slide a little bit. If you want to cancel this slide, just hold the movement key and you'll just sort of stop dead. One good thing to do is to throw in a little crouch with this slide. Or even just a crouch in general as you come around a corner. Air strafing is a thing. So, say you want to get around this pole or this pole, you can just sort of jump and spin around it. Very, very useful for if, say, you're in a gunfight and you need to get away, and you can sort of strafe around the corner a little bit. Also very good for dodging in mid-air. You can just sort of move around a lot. It makes you very unpredictable. What else? What else? Proning is very dangerous. You can't drop shot in this. Oh, someone's joined. Oh. You can't drop shot very effectively in this game. Thank God. This is not Call of Duty. You can lean on corners as well. Not super useful, but it's a thing you can do. Oh, he's already left. One thing you do want to, you can do is movement glitching. Now, I do know how to do it. I don't want to show people how to do it purely because I hate when people do it to me. It's incredibly annoying. I don't think it's a cool way to play the game. I think you're better off just using the intended movement. But, I mean, it's there. You can do it. There's plenty of tutorials. Feel free to look it up, whatever. I'm not going to wag my finger at you and be the parent and be like, don't do it. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a bit stupid. So that's a pretty basic movement guide. Alright, now I'm going to move on to just a basic weapon handling guide. This game, the way recoil works is the first shot will always be the strongest recoil. So burst weapons, typically what you want to do is, such as the M16, or if you select burst on like the AN-94 or something, you'll want to pull the hardest for the first shot, but the recoil in this game is fairly manageable. Now one thing this game does have is weapon bloom. Now this comes from sustained fire, so the longer you hold down the trigger for, the less accurate your weapon is going to be. So what you really want to do at long ranges is tap fire, which makes recoil more manageable and the gun more accurate. So rather than, which as you'll see here, I try to control the recoil the best I can, but it's just painted a giant circle, whereas if you want to tap fire, probably controlling the recoil a little bit better than me. But as you can see, a much tighter spread than what we have there. Yep, so that's how you really want to do it. Close quarters, you can just hold it down, whatever. But yeah, at range, you're going to want to tap fire a bit more. I have also had at least friends question me about this. The different colored crosshairs and stuff. Very easy to do. Just come over here, go into advanced options. You can change... actually, I would recommend increasing the minimap size and stuff. Making these a bit less visible just so it's easy to see enemies. You can make it so that when you ADS, they disappear. And then you can come down here and you can change hit markers, the colors on that. You can change your sight. You can make it so that when you ADS, you don't see certain things. Oh, pardon me. It's, yeah. It's very, very useful. So that's how I have all the purple here. And I believe my headshot hit indicator is yellow and my kill indicator is red. And, yeah. One thing, I just had this thought. Laser sights can be seen very easily. This game's laser sights are not calculated well. So if I'm aiming here, there's a good chance somebody over here can just see like little flickers of my flashlight zipping around. It's really weird how it works. You can sort of see them through walls sometimes, and they sort of like bounce around the place weirdly. It's really odd. So do be careful with that, and they're visible through smoke, and they also are just very visible when you're aiming at an enemy. So just keep that in mind. I just run this on this because usually this is when I pull out in close quarters, and it's far more accurate. And yeah. So as you'll see in this clip here, down the bottom, if you just watch all the score going up, I've marked this objective as a squad order objective. So if you capture that, you'll get squad order bonus, which goes towards your field upgrades there on the bottom left above the squad names. This is just a good way to play with your team and get a bit extra score up and also get your skip field upgrades faster. So I highly recommend doing that. So yeah, that's about it for the basic infantry guide, really. I know this wasn't the best, but I just thought I'd make it because, you know, why not? I'm passionate about this game. I love this game, and if this helps even one new player, that'd be great. Because yeah, I've seen a lot of new players getting into it lately, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, they annoy me because I always use shotguns, but it's pretty good because, you know, the fact that this game is alive after all these years and after all the new games, it's very good. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please don't like and subscribe. You'll regret it. And I'll see you when I see you.